to begin by telling a story of Mimi. Mimi's mother, who founded the company in 1977, believed her daughter had special powers. And these powers could tell whether somebody was a good person, somebody who could be trusted, sort of like Wonder Woman if you saw the movie over the weekend. So Doris wanted Mimi to meet me to see whether I would pass the test. So we met over lunch, and Mimi hardly said a word for an hour. She just kept on. So luckily I passed the test, or I wouldn't be here today. So as some of you know, Doris lived an extraordinary life, and when it became clear that the cancer she had battled for so long would take her life, Mimi and her sister Judith arranged for a writer to sit with her mom and record her life stories. Mimi asked me to contribute a few pages to the book, and I would like to read a few paragraphs that I thought you might enjoy hearing. I think some of you saw a couple of these books are in the office. It's my office. I met Doris in 2008 when she hired the Whitman Strategy Group, where I was a consultant, to help her introduce her company and their services to federal officials. I had previously served as chief of staff at the US EPA and understood how government worked. Doris made a deep and lasting impression on me in a short amount of time. My relationship with her is one of the most important relationships in my life. Certainly I owe her a lot professionally, as she gave me the opportunity to lead this great company, but she also made quite an impression on a personal level too. Doris savored life's pleasures, travel, good food, chocolate, Sunday walks with her best friend Carol, family gatherings at good hotels at the end of the year, breakfast with Fred, her husband, every morning, and going out to lunch. We would typically end our working sessions every day with a discussion about which restaurant we would try next. She was very good company, and I enjoyed our conversations. She was very worldly, cosmopolitan, and our conversations would touch upon politics, family, current events, and a dash of gossip just for fun. She was passionate about work. She had great stamina, determination, grit, and persistence. She would work late into the night, writing articles, letters, and emails. But yet she was very humble about her accomplishments. When we had meetings at the Department of Energy or the EPA, employees would hear that she was in the building and stream out of their offices. Afterwards, I would ask her, "Oh, how do you know that person?" And she would say so casually, "Oh, they work for me," or "They were one of the first people I ever hired." One of these employees told me that Doris had launched hundreds of careers in the energy sector, having given them a firm, true commitment to energy conservation. In 2010, Doris asked me to head the company while she took on the role of Chief Innovation Officer. When her cancer returned, she asked her daughter Mimi to assume the role of Chairman of the Board. Mimi and I forged a very good working relationship. We are all familiar with the fact that many, if not most, family-owned businesses do not survive the transfer to the second generation. But CMC not only survived but thrived. No one would be more thrilled than Doris. To honor her legacy, CMC began this Dorothy Clay Innovation Award, given annually to the employee who submits an innovative idea and makes operations more efficient. It's a powerful way to remind ourselves of how innovative Doris was. So Mike Waller, who's here, raise your hand. He was the first winner of the award. The second winner was Tom McAteer next year. And I think the third year was Richard Lynch, who was by far the happiest person I've ever seen in my life, anyone on board. And then Tom Hill was our last award. Did I leave anybody else? We've had it for 4 years. Okay. So Doris, by her own account, was more interested in innovation than management. So Mimi and I took stock of the company and invested in areas that needed strengthening: IT, personnel, and training. Mimi chaired the board with great skill and a healthy balance of humility and confidence, and steered the company to a new level of professionalism. I often think how proud Doris would be if she could see what Mimi has accomplished. Mimi and her sister Judith are protective of their mother's legacy and continue to invest in the company their mother founded. Today, CMC is one of the strongest energy services companies in the Mideast. I'd like to thank everyone for making the strong contributions to the company this year. We've had a very good year. We just completed the first year of the PPL contracts. And a big thank you to all of you, Tom, everyone, who worked so hard to reach the program goals. We started a small business contract in New Jersey. and continue to please all our clients by delivering contract goals and delivering quality service. I'm always so delighted when I stop by the auditor meetings on Mondays or the CSR meetings and I hear people talk about how much they care about serving their customers and doing their job well. We continue to look for opportunities to grow. We are in the midst of responding to 3 RFPs, and if we are successful, these contracts will provide new growth opportunities, which is the favorite part of my job, to see everyone here grow. Every year we include initiatives in our budget that we believe will strengthen the company. This year we have put aside money for a new office, new vans in Connecticut, new tablets in Massachusetts, and company-wide new investments in IT, HR, and marketing for the first time. All these things are strengthen the company, and we are very fortunate the owners of CMC continue to invest in the company to make it strong. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Lisa for standing in for me while I was away, taking care of my daughter Sean, who is still under medical care but is making progress. Last night I was cleaning up and I reread everyone's piles of notes that people sent to me while I was away, and I was very touched by all your kindness and your support. And thank you for support, and I'm glad to be back. I'm going to keep those every once in a while. I'll read them. So for those of you who don't know her, I think many of you do, but some of you don't, I'd like to introduce Mimi, CMC's owner and chair of the board. So Mimi's special powers continue to serve the company well, and you'll see some of her powers today.
So good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's really nice to have you all here. I appreciate every time we get together, because when we get together, we get to give a little time, a little reflection on how we, each of us, are contributing to manifesting a dream that was started by my mom 40 years ago. I'm really excited to be here today. As some of you know, I was here about a month ago for the professional development training program, and it really struck me. It was the first time I've ever been at CMC without Eileen, and I felt like a Siamese twin who had lost my other half. And it was really interesting because we had arranged the ribbon cutting for that day, and of course, because Eileen needed to be with her real daughter, we did a little bit, we did some celebration, but I said, let's wait. I want to wait until Eileen's here. And then it just happened to work out that it could be at the same time that the board is here, which is even better. So you can meet more of the family that I get to spend a lot of time with and get to know them a little bit yourself. So the point for today, really the intention, is to celebrate new beginnings. It's to familiarize you with our board, our wonderful, amazing board and secretary. It's to be able to give reflection to the fact that this is a new beginning for CMC. It's a new home for CMC, and ideally it's a home that serves you a lot better. Ideally it's a home where you feel really well taken care of. And it's also a time, it's been 5 years since my mom passed, and it's a time for me personally to reflect on my mom, Dorothy Clay. Doris is Greek and it means gift, and part of today's ceremony is the addition of the gift of the Tree of Life arbor, the wind chimes, and the bird feeder. My parents had a bird feeder outside of their kitchen window my whole life, and they loved connecting with nature, and they loved appreciating nature and taking time to be with one another, even though they were complete workaholics. I mean, these are people that work 80 hours a week, but they took time every morning to just reflect on nature, reflect on beauty, and reflect on their part within nature. So hopefully as you come into these doors every day and you see the arbor, you hear the beautiful wind chimes, or you see a beautiful bird feeding, you'll just take that moment as you walk in to just realize your place and how honored and valued you are at CMC. So I'd like to follow up a little bit about my mom's book. So my mom's book was quite a luxury, because not many people know that they're going to die. Not many people have that foresight and have that opportunity. We were very blessed to be able to do this. And I appreciate that for the people that read it, that they can get the inspiration of when you're born a person that everybody around you thinks doesn't deserve to live, or when you are a woman in a society where men get higher value, or anybody that's faced any sort of prejudice in their life can relate to the fact that it's important for us to each value one another, to see beyond the gender, beyond the race, the religion, and look for what is the light that that person brings to this world, and how can we shine our own light radiantly and do what we need to do in this world. So there are a lot of fun parts in the book. Eileen had picked out one where my mom was talking about how she thought it would be good for me to be an auditor, a scheduler. I'm sorry, not an auditor, a scheduler for the auditors at CMC. But every time I get on the phone and they wouldn't want to talk to me, I'd cry because I would be so personally damaged, so hurt and offended, but I'm kind of sensitive. So I really appreciate the type of person that it takes to be able to schedule and hear a no or a maybe or a, I don't want to talk to you right now, and not fall apart. I really appreciate that you have the fortitude to continue, and schedulers, as we know, are one of our most important people at the company. So there's other parts where in the book where my dad, what was it? My dad was the secretary, and he wanted to. I can read it.
Sorry.
It's a funny one. Here we go. Doris launched Conservation Management Corporation in 1977 with a staff of 1.5 people. Me and a secretary. This is her quote. I split with Fred. The term conservation came to disfavor in the Carter administration. People associated conservation with wearing a sweater or wearing gloves instead of energy conservation. I changed the name to CMC. Fred wanted to get into the business with me because he was looking for something to do. As he lost his political position when President Carter was elected, he asked me if he could join CMC. I said, no. I want to be the boss of CMC, but I don't want to be your boss. That's a very wise decision as a wife, I think. So, obviously a lot has happened over the past 40 years. One of the great pleasures of my life has been given that challenge when my mom asked me to be the chair and to be more a part of the company. I knew that that was really taking me out of my comfort zone, and it has been a wonderful thing to be outside of my comfort zone, and it's been a wonderful thing to be partner with Eileen, a brilliant woman. So I'd like to just introduce the board. I'm going to have them each just come up and say a little bit about themselves. And without further ado, this is my brother-in-law, Aaron.
Thank you, everybody. Well, I didn't prepare any remarks. I didn't know.
Yeah.
My name is Aaron Maislish. I live in San Francisco. I'm married to Judith Clay, who's the other owner of CMC. And I've been involved with the company since 1999. So, what is that? 18 years now. So, it's changed a lot and grown a lot, and it's been really rewarding to see it grow over the last 5 years or so with new energy and new management. And seems like good morale. So thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hello, I'm Ken Wilkins. I prepared the same notes as Aaron did for this. So I joined the board of CMC in October. I have known Eileen, who I consider to be a friend and an incredibly accomplished CEO, for about 5 years. And so I'm learning about the company, and I think you have a really special company here. It's a delight for me to work with Mimi and Eileen and to be part of your team. So thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Kateri Callahan, and I'm with the Alliance to Save Energy in Washington, D.C. I'm part of the freshman class of board members along with Ken. I have a long history with Doris Clay, though, because she did not found this company to build a business, to make a lot of money. She founded it on a passion she had for making a difference in the world. She was a member of our organization, and she believed very passionately in what you all are doing, helping others, conserving energy, and therefore having a huge impact for the positive and the good on the environment. So I'm happy to be a part of this now, and we gave her, in recognition of her passion and her impact in the world, we actually gave her a Lifetime Achievement Award several years ago, the year before she died. It is the first and only time in the 40-year history of our organization that we've given a woman that award. So you guys have a great legacy here, and I'm proud to be part of it. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Rob Brenner, and I worked at the Environmental Protection Agency for 30-some years, doing a lot of work involving air quality and Energy Star and some of the other programs that you're now working closely with. And when I retired about 5 or 6 years ago, Eileen and Doris invited me to join the board of CMC, for which I'm very grateful, not only because it's not that hard to be on a board of a company that is growing as rapidly as this one is, but for two other reasons that are really important to me, involving the spirit of the company. When I talk to people here during my visits, again and again, I hear how proud all of you are to be helping people live in more comfortable homes, helping people save money, and that it means a lot to the folks in this company. And the other thing is the spirit of innovation, the willingness that all of you have shown to try new approaches and tinker with them until they work well. So that's exactly the kind of thing I really appreciate being a part of. And congratulations to all of you for 40 very successful years.
It's me. It's hard to do cleanup after all these guys. They're great. So I'm Bernard David. I am the founder and chair of something called the Global CO2 Initiative. And our whole goal is to take carbon dioxide and actually make it into useful things. So that's I have a long, sordid background, if you will. But I was asked to join the board, 2 or 3 years ago? Something like that. And I had that same sizing up with Mimi that you did, Eileen, if you recall. And it's kind of one of those moments you wonder where they're going to pass. And what I realized was Mimi truly has a heart. And that heart extends to her feelings and our collective feelings about every one of you. I've run enough companies and been involved in enough of them to know that really what drives success is people. It's people, people, and people. And you guys are an incredible team. You're all rowing in the same direction. And in my mind, you're doing something that's significant for the world because you're bringing people to a better place, all of the folks that you're working with. So I'm honored to be a part of the board. I'm honored to hopefully get to know more of you. And thank you for everything that you're doing.
Yes, hi. I came to CMC 20 years ago because I answered an advert to work for Fred, and I worked for Fred, that's 20 years ago. And then after a few years, Doris wanted me to come and work for her at CMC, so I worked for a couple of years in the Bethesda office. And then when Mimi asked me earlier this year, could I come take notes for the board meeting, I said absolutely. Because I really, really loved Doris and Fred. They were just super people, and this is now again my contact back to Fred and Doris, so it keeps them alive for me.
So as you can see, we try to match the excellence that you all provide to CMC with our board, and really to lead the company into the future, which we have wonderful prospects for. So just to wrap it up, I just wanted to say that one of the things that we wanted to offer in commitment to the container, which we're about to do the ribbon cutting for, you'll see later on this week there will be at Marie's desk, there'll be a basket of bags. Bags are obviously a type of container, right? They hold our groceries, they hold our coat, they hold the things that we don't have a hand for. And we got these reusable bags because if you guys have seen me walk around with my purse, there's usually about 8 or 9 of them hanging off the sides. And people always say, what is that? And I said, well, it's a bag, because you never know when you're going to need to hold things. And that way, I don't need to take a plastic bag. I don't need to choose plastic or paper because it's right here. It's cloth, it's reusable, I can wash it, it's gonna last forever. And so we have these gifts, and it's really your option. The idea of CMC is to inspire, right? Not to enforce. It's just to inspire. So if you're inspired to take one and use it for your groceries, etc., please feel free to. It's sort of an ongoing mission, like the to-go cups that we gave out at the holiday party. So just know that those are available for you. And to end the ceremony, obviously we'll be doing the ribbon cutting, but I also wanted to take a moment. We were doing a tour of the office today, and I saw in Layla's office the gong, and I remembered how beautiful it was, and I thought if we could just, before the ribbon cutting, do one moment of silence. I just thought we'd ring the gong, hear the sound. Obviously the wind isn't picking up the wind chimes right now, but just taking a moment to, if you want to look across the courtyard to one another, just understand that we're each part of this, we're each an integral part of this, and I really appreciate and honor everything that you guys do. So just take one moment to either remember folks like my mom, or just appreciate one another. We'll ring the gong, we'll have a minute of silence, we'll cut the ribbon, and then feel free to hoot and holler. Probably has scissors somewhere. Oh, I just can't see them. All right. So maybe Eileen, if you want to come up. So to bless and commemorate our new home and all of the family of CMC, we will cut the ribbon.
So right here. Oh, see, they were hiding from both of us. We couldn't tell. I didn't see them. You gotta look everywhere.
All right, you're ready.
This is a celebration of you all.